President Trump signaling positive talks with China's Xi Jinping on trade. They had a phone call yesterday. It moved markets. In part two of my exclusive interview with Barry Diller, he weighs in on China's controversial trade practices, the role of content, and the sheer size of technology giants like Google, Apple, and Amazon. He says regulation is coming.
Well, Amazon's, I mean, the idea that you would go from selling some books to essentially being the retailer of record, besides which creating an entire other industry in cloud computing. I mean, look, what has been created by these companies is so extraordinary that the downsides of it are certainly worth relatively easy digestion. I mean, yes, is Amazon a very tough customer to deal with? Yes, it is. But what it has done is it has allowed extraordinary amount of commerce, fair commerce, to pass, and it's lowered prices. How can that be a bad thing?
But you've also seen the hand. These companies are so big that they compete with themselves. I mean, you made a comment recently about Google and creating businesses that are basically competing with their customers, their advertisers, like you.
I particularly believe, and I've said this to I very much value Google. We are one of their largest advertisers, and we have lots of other business relationships with them, and they are vital to any kind of internet commerce because they're the monopoly in search. And that, when you reach that stage, I think for them, wisely, I think there has to be some rules of the road so that they don't end up competing with their advertisers to the extent that their advertisers don't have any more revenue. It's not in their interest, not in their advertisers. Nevertheless, progress keeps these things going. So I think wisdom here, fairness, when these things have grown to such fast, so fast, and so there's all sorts of issues that come outside vents of what's going on. I think they need a kind of fresh look, not fresh, but they need they either need internally to do it, but they also will need government help. Because otherwise there's not a level playing field.
It looks like it's coming. Let me ask you about China, because this is a marketplace that's obviously a big opportunity for a lot of these companies, yours included. Google recently said that it's going to take its search engine to China, sure, and that means it's going to be censoring it. Now, I spoke with Steve Ballmer recently, and here's what he said.
I'm a free trader by nature. I went to school, economics. It's the best thing for the world. This one's a tricky issue because it is absolutely clear that the rules don't apply in China, and the U.S. government needs to do something, whether tariffs are right or wrong. I'm silent on that point. But without any pressure from the U.S. government, we're talking about $10 billion plus, for example, in Microsoft, that would go into profit.
Well, I think that's not good. I think that over time, one way or the other, it will change. I mean, I am not a proponent of, quote, trade wars. Their trade practices have to change. So I don't think trade wars, if you let an unfettered trade war actually take place, which is in our control, it will be disastrous for everybody. So they will have to mature their practices because that is inevitable. Otherwise, they are going to simply serve their own market, which is pretty big, and be isolated from the world, which is not their desire, and it will be bad for everybody. So.
They won't even admit they're stealing, though, Barry. So what do we do? What is the U.S. supposed to do to stop China from taking our intellectual property, which you've seen over your career over and over again?
Endlessly, yes. What are we supposed to do? We're supposed to be in difficult conversations and with with challenging policies to try and get them to join the world in terms of the protection of intellectual property, in terms of all sorts of excessive trade practices or business practices. We had a company, we owned one of the 3 Chinese online travel agents. C-Trip ended up buying us because we could no longer compete, because China's essential one-man standing policy which is you kill your competitors to the point that you buy them or crush them, and then there's basically one player in every sector that is got no competition. So they bought us out. They bought out Baidu's business. They are now basically the travel company of China.